Your phone buzzes. You don't decide to look. Your hand is already moving. By the time you notice the sound, you've already unlocked the screen. You don't remember choosing to do it. That should bother you more than it does. But the real answer is far stranger than a bad habit. You've been told this is about willpower. Turn off notifications. Use grayscale mode. Put the phone in another room. And sure, those things help a little. But none of them explain why you feel an almost physical pull to check a screen that, statistically, usually has nothing important on it. Here's the reframe. Your brain isn't broken. It's working exactly the way it was built to work millions of years before screens existed. The problem is that something figured out how to aim that ancient machinery at a glass rectangle in your pocket. To understand this, you have to go back to a lab in the 1950s. A psychologist named B.F. Skinner was studying pigeons. He put them in small boxes with a lever. Peck the lever. Get a food pellet. Simple enough. But then Skinner changed one thing. Instead of giving food every single time the lever was pecked, he gave it randomly. Sometimes after one peck. Sometimes after 20. No pattern the pigeon could predict. What happened next surprised him. The pigeons didn't peck less because the reward was unreliable. They pecked more. Obsessively more. Pigeons on a predictable schedule would peck, eat, and walk away satisfied. Pigeons on a random schedule would peck for hours, almost unable to stop. Skinner called this a variable ratio reinforcement schedule, and it turns out to be one of the most powerful behavior patterns ever discovered. Why would uncertainty make a behavior stronger instead of weaker? Should not knowing if you'll get a reward make you give up faster? The answer lives in your brain chemistry, not just your environment. Decades later, a neuroscientist named Wolfram Schultz ran a related experiment, this time with monkeys and a sweet juice reward. He was tracking dopamine, the neurotransmitter everyone associates with pleasure. The assumption going in was simple. Dopamine should spike when the monkey gets the juice. Reward equals dopamine. But that's not what Schultz found. Dopamine barely moved when the juice was fully predictable. The real spike happened before the reward, in the moment of not knowing whether it was coming. Dopamine, it turned out, isn't really a pleasure chemical. It's a prediction chemical. It fires hardest when an outcome is uncertain but possible. Sit with that for a second. The chemical your brain uses to chase rewards is more active during the maybe than during the yes. Now think about your phone again. Every time you unlock it, you don't know what's waiting. Maybe a message from someone you care about. Maybe nothing. Maybe a like on something you posted. Maybe silence. You are every single time a pigeon at the lever and a monkey waiting for juice, except you built the box yourself and carry it everywhere. This is where the counterintuitive twist comes in, and it's the part most people get backwards. You'd think a phone that always delivered something exciting would be the most addictive version possible. It isn't. If every check guaranteed a reward, your brain would calm down, because certainty kills craving almost as fast as it kills disappointment. It's the not knowing that keeps the lever pulling alive. This is not an accident in app design. It's the entire architecture. Pull to refresh. Infinite scroll. The three dots that show someone is typing, then stop, then start again. These features weren't modeled after helpful tools. They were modeled, almost feature for feature, after the slot machine. A slot machine doesn't reward you every pull either. It rewards you just often enough, just unpredictably enough, to keep your hand on the lever. A Stanford psychiatrist named Anna Lemke has spent years studying this from a different angle, the balance between pleasure and pain in the brain. Her research describes the brain as running on a kind of seesaw. Every hit of dopamine is followed by a small dip below baseline, a tiny craving for the next hit to bring you back to even. Do this enough times a day, every day, and that seesaw never settles. You're not relaxing between checks. You're recovering from the last one while already leaning toward the next. So why does this matter beyond the buzz of mild annoyance you feel scrolling through something you don't even enjoy? Because the cost isn't just emotional, it's measurable, and it shows up in how your mind handles everything else. A researcher named Gloria Mark, who studies attention at the University of California, Irvine, has spent over a decade tracking how people interact with screens throughout the day. Her work follows something simple but revealing: how long someone focuses on one task before switching to another. Across her studies, that window has been shrinking year after year as constant notifications and quick checks became normal. And switching attention isn't free. Every time your focus jumps from one thing to a buzzing phone and back, it takes real time and mental effort to fully return to where you were. Multiply that by dozens of checks a day, and a huge portion of your mental energy isn't spent thinking. It's spent recovering. Here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. None of this requires you to be weak-willed, distracted by nature, or addicted to your phone specifically. The exact same neural circuitry would respond the exact same way to any device built on the same principle. Your ancestors needed this system to survive. Uncertain rewards in nature usually meant something worth pursuing: a berry bush that wasn't always full, a hunting ground that wasn't always productive, a watering hole that wasn't always safe. The brain that got excited about maybe was the brain that kept searching instead of giving up. And that searching kept your ancestors alive in an unpredictable world. That circuitry never updated for smartphones. It didn't need to. It was never broken in the first place. It's just being pulled hundreds of times a day by something engineered specifically to trigger it. Think about what that means the next time you feel that pull to check, even when you know there's probably nothing there. That feeling isn't weakness. It's a few 100,000 years of evolution responding exactly the way it evolved to respond, to a stimulus your ancestors never could have imagined and never had to resist. So what do you actually do with this? Not turn off notifications and hope, although that helps. The deeper shift is recognizing the moment itself. When you feel the urge to check, you're not making a choice about information. You're feeling a small, ancient prediction circuit fire, the same one that once kept your ancestors searching for food in an unpredictable world. Naming that feeling for what it is, just for a second, is often enough to loosen its grip, because the pull only works automatically when it goes unnoticed. Your phone buzzes. This time, you notice your hand moving before it gets there. And for just a second, you get to choose whether the ancient machinery in your head decides what happens next, or you do.